So, back in 1965, a really pivotal document came out that dives right into one of the most heated debates we're having today. It's from the Second Vatican Council. It's called Gravissimum Educationis. And its central question, well, it's one we are still wrestling with all the time.
I mean, this is the big one, right? Who gets the final say in a child's education? You see this playing out everywhere, in intense school board meetings, all over the news, and in passionate debates about curriculum and parental rights. Well, believe it or not, this document from decades ago speaks directly to the heart of that conflict. And you've got to remember, this wasn't some dusty, ancient text. Nope. This was forged right in the middle of the 1960s, a time of massive change. It was a direct response to a world that was suddenly dealing with new technologies, a more connected globe, and a powerful new focus on human dignity. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with why this declaration was even needed back then. Then we'll get into its foundational idea, the universal right to an education. From there, we'll break down the three pillars of who's responsible, see how that vision plays out in Catholic schools, and finally, we'll ask what it all means for us today. So, why 1965? I mean, think about what was happening in the world. You had civil rights movements, decolonization, a huge global push for democracy. And this document really reflects that. It talks about a new, mature consciousness of human dignity. The idea was that people weren't just subjects anymore. They were citizens, meant to be active participants in society. So the church saw this urgent need to lay out an educational vision that could actually empower this new, modern person. All right, so before we even get into who's responsible, the document lays down this one single, non-negotiable foundation. And really, this one principle is the bedrock for everything else that comes after it. And there it is. That's the powerful, universal starting point. It's not a privilege, it's not some gift from the government, it's an inalienable right. That's just part of being human. This one, simple but really profound statement is the basis for every single argument that follows. And here's where we get a really crucial distinction. When this document says education, it doesn't just mean learning facts and figures to pass a test. It's talking about the formation of a person, shaping them not just for a career, but for their ultimate purpose in life and for their role in the community. So what does this formation actually look like? Well, it's about developing the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. The goal is to help form responsible, free-thinking individuals. And, what's really fascinating is that it specifically includes positive and prudent sex education, a very clear nod to the real-world development of a person. Okay, so if everyone has a right to this kind of holistic education, then whose job is it to provide it? The document gives us a really clear answer, laying out what we can call the three essential pillars of responsibility. The first, and by far the most important pillar, is the family. The document is absolutely 100% unequivocal on this. Before any school, before any government, come the parents. This right here is the cornerstone of the whole argument. The duty to educate flows directly from the act of giving life. See, this totally reframes education. It's not a task you just outsource to a school. It's a fundamental part of being a parent. The family is, for all intents and purposes, the first school. So where does the government fit in? Well, that's the second pillar, the state, or civil society. And its role is defined very, very specifically. It's there to assist and to support, not to take over. And this support role breaks down into four key duties. First, protect freedom, especially the parent's right to choose a school. Second, step in and help out where it's needed. Third, make sure everyone has access to education. And finally, and this is a huge deal, the state must avoid any kind of school monopoly, which the document flat out says is a violation of human rights. And that brings us to the third pillar, which is the church itself. It sees its duty to educate as part of its core mission, to announce its message and help people live out their faith. But it also offers its educational work to everyone, not just Catholics, with the goal of promoting the full, well-rounded development of every person. So all this naturally leads to the specific vision for the Catholic school. The document argues that while these schools share a lot of the same goals as other schools, they have a unique purpose that really sets them apart. And this chart lays it out so clearly. On the one hand, you've got the goals of any good school, right? Develop sound judgment, pass on culture, prepare you for a job. But the Catholic school is meant to add this whole other layer. It's not about replacing that knowledge, but about integrating it, seeing all of it through the lens of faith to create this really unique environment.
And the person who makes this whole vision come to life? It's the teacher. The document really elevates teaching from just a profession to a true vocation, a calling, an authentic apostolate. And that sets an incredibly high bar. It demands not just professional skill, but a life that actually bears witness to the values being taught.
So let's bring it back to today. How does a document that's nearly 60 years old still speak to us? Well, its core ideas are the very principles that are fueling our most passionate and important debates about education right now. So when you boil it all down, you're left with these 4 interlocking principles. It all starts with a universal right to education. That right puts parents in the driver's seat. The state is meant to be a supportive partner, not the boss. And the goal of it all is the formation of the whole person. Put them together and you have a really powerful and challenging vision. And so this document from 1965 leaves us with a question for our own time. It laid out a very clear hierarchy of who is responsible for what. But today, as we try to navigate all the complex demands of modern society, finding that delicate balance between the goals of the state and the fundamental rights of the family, well, that remains one of our greatest challenges.
Knowledge transcends time. Truth endures.